Psychological warfare isn't something that only happens in military operations or spy movies. It's happening in your workplace, in your relationships, in your family. Right now, someone might be using tactics designed to destabilize you, confuse you, and break down your mental defenses without you even realizing you're under attack. Because real psychological warfare doesn't announce itself. There are no grenades or battlefields, just small, calculated moves that seem normal on the surface. They are specifically engineered to make you doubt yourself, exhaust your mental resources, and eventually surrender control. And the most effective psychological warfare is so subtle that you'll blame yourself for feeling crazy instead of recognizing that someone is deliberately making you feel that way. The foundation of all psychological warfare is destabilization. You can't control someone who feels secure and grounded, so the first objective is to knock you off balance. This happens through unpredictability. Someone is warm one day, cold the next. They praise you in the morning, criticize you by afternoon. They make plans, then cancel. They promise things, then deny they ever said them. Your brain craves patterns because patterns feel safe. When someone systematically disrupts patterns, your nervous system goes into permanent alert mode. You're always scanning for threats, trying to predict what's coming next. A study from Yale on chronic stress found that unpredictable negative events cause more psychological damage than predictable ones, because your brain can't prepare defenses. Next comes isolation. Psychological warfare can't work effectively if you have strong external support, so the attacker separates you from your resources. Sometimes it's just making you feel like nobody else would understand. Nobody else sees what you see. If you told anyone, they'd think you're overreacting. This isolation is strategic because it forces you to rely solely on the attacker's version of reality. There's no one to reality check with. You start questioning whether what you're experiencing is real. That self-doubt is the goal. Isolation amplifies every other tactic by removing your ability to verify sanity. Then there's information control. In warfare, whoever controls information controls the battlefield. The attacker controls what you know and when you know it. They withhold important information until the last minute. They give you contradictory information so you can't form coherent plans. This creates cognitive load. Your brain is working overtime trying to sort through incomplete info. That mental exhaustion makes you less able to resist manipulation. Another core tactic is erosion of identity. They attack who you are at your core. Your values, your beliefs, your sense of self. They tell you you're not who you think you are. That your memories are wrong. That your accomplishments were luck or help from others. Over time, this creates dissociation. You stop feeling connected to yourself. You lose trust in your own mind. Sleep deprivation is another weapon. More often, it's keeping you in a state of hypervigilance where you can't mentally rest. They create crises that demand your attention at all hours. They start arguments late at night. They make you worry constantly about what might happen next. This chronic activation of your stress response has the same effect as not sleeping. Your cognitive function declines. Your decision-making becomes impaired. Gaslighting deserves special attention. This is where they make you doubt your grip on reality itself. They deny things that obviously happened. The term comes from a 1944 film where a husband dims the gaslights, then tells his wife she's imagining it. Make someone question their perception enough times, they'll stop trusting it. Once that happens, they have no choice but to rely on the attacker's version of reality. Victims often develop what looks like dementia because they've been trained to distrust their brain. Emotional warfare is also critical. They don't just attack your logic. They attack your feelings. They provoke you until you react emotionally, then use that reaction as proof you're unstable. They stay calm while making you upset, then point to your upset as evidence you're the problem. It trains you to suppress your emotions, disconnecting you from warning signals. You stop getting angry when you should. You stop feeling fear when you're in danger. You become numb and compliant. There's also strategic incompetence. They mess up in ways that force you to take over their responsibilities. They forget important things. They do tasks wrong, so you have to redo them. Over time, you're doing everything while they do nothing. This isn't actual incompetence. It's tactical. They're training you to be the one who carries all the weight while they maintain control without effort. And when you try to stop, when you try to make them responsible again, They use your previous competence against you. You're so much better at this. I'll just mess it up. You know I can't do it like you can. You're trapped doing their work because they've made themselves helpless and you capable. So how do you defend against psychological warfare? First, document everything. Keep records of what was said, what was promised, what actually happened. This breaks gaslighting because you have external proof of reality. Second, maintain outside relationships, no matter how much the attacker discourages it. Those relationships are your reality anchors. Third, trust your body over their words. If you feel anxious, exhausted, crazy around someone even when they're being nice, that's your nervous system detecting warfare your conscious mind hasn't identified yet. Fourth, recognize that confusion is a tactic, not a natural state. If you're constantly confused about someone's intentions, what they mean, whether they're being honest, that confusion isn't your fault. It's their strategy. And finally, understand that you can't win psychological warfare by playing their game. The only winning move is to leave the battlefield entirely. You can't reason with someone using unreasoned as a weapon. You can't find clarity with someone who benefits from your confusion. You can't heal in the environment that's making you sick. Psychological warfare works because it's invisible. It leaves no marks. It looks like normal conflict or communication problems, but it's not. It's systematic, intentional destruction of your mental stability disguised as everyday interaction. And the moment you recognize it for what it is, you can stop fighting yourself and start protecting yourself instead.